everyone, it's Justine and welcome to a video in which I'm featuring a pop-up birthday die from Concord and Ninth. It is so cool and it goes on the inside of your card and just gives it that extra little surprise. So I'm going to show you how to make it and give you a bunch of tips that I have on the way. So to get started, I'm going to be die cutting, and so this die cut comes also with a coordinating stamp set. You can get it as a bundle or they sell them individually, but I would definitely recommend the bundle because you could decorate your pop-ups so much better with the stamp set. Now, what I decided to do, so I'm taking a full card base I'm using the Catherine Pooler white cardstock. A thinner cardstock would work, like an 80-pound Unisolar white or a Stampin' Up! Whisper white would work as well. And you're going to place the little tabs that are sticking out there, you see little pointed edges, on the fold line that you have. Now I had tried this with thick paper thinking that the paper being more stable would be easier to bend. Not the case. So use a thinner paper. It will definitely save you a lot of frustration. If it's your first time using this die, I would recommend cutting out 3 of these and only stamping 1 of them so that you don't waste any time stamping all of it and then it doesn't turn out. It took me about 3 tries to get the hang of it, and now I can actually do this folding die in under 2 minutes. So what I did was I trimmed off about 1/4 of an inch off of the card panel. So this is a good way, if you cut it too big and then it's not completely centered, you can cut it down so that it is centered. So I would recommend cutting your original panel a little bit bigger than you want it to. Then I'm just going to take a pick here and I'm just going to pop out all the little areas around the happy birthday. And now the fun starts to decorate. And remember, as I said, try folding this a couple of times and get the hang of it before you do this step, and it'll save you a lot of time. I had stamped this the first time and it didn't turn out all that great. One of my letters ripped because I was too rough with the cardstock and I was using too thick of cardstock. And then obviously that's very disappointing if you put in all that work beforehand and then the fold doesn't work. So give it a practice run. It really isn't hard, but you do need to do it once or twice before you can get the hang of it. So I'm using a bunch of Catherine Pooler inks. They're really vibrant and fun, and in my opinion, birthdays should be vibrant and fun, so I wanted to use these inks. And I am using Party Dress, Orange Twist, Lime Ricky, and then I went in with some Fiesta Blue, and lastly with some Tiki Torch, I believe it was called. And I'm stamping all of those. They're going to be presents, and I'm going to be able to die cut some bows to put on the top, which are absolutely adorable. But let's get to the folding. All right, so I'm not going to put you into super fast mode at first. What you're going to do is you're just going to bend back and forth. So have one hand on the front of your cardstock and one hand on the back. And I start with the presents because those are the easiest to me as to which fold. So you have to just sort of bend the cardstock as much as you can to get those folds. So you can see here how easy that ended up being. Again, this is my 3rd time doing it. So you're seeing it in 3rd time mode, I guess you could say. So it might seem like an expert, but I'm not. And you're just going to fold down those cardstock area there and just put them down, and I just keep bending them towards the cardstock because eventually it's going to fold relatively flat. It's not going to be completely flat because obviously it's quite a bit of fold in here, so you are going to have the card open up a little bit. If you wanted to photograph it flat, for example, it is quite difficult. And then you're just going to manipulate the letters so that they stand up, and you can see here how I'm doing that. I have my hand on the back of the cardstock, hand on the front, and I keep bending and warping my cardstock. And then once I get it really good, I kind of just put it towards the bottom and just reinforce those fold lines. And the last part is the happy, which in my opinion was the most difficult because you have this little platform at the top that you need that's with the A, P, and P, and that was the hardest one, I would say, out of the 3 of them to get to fold and manipulate. But overall, it didn't take me too long, as you can see. And as I said, I could do it in about under 2 minutes now that I've practiced 3 times. So I'm just grabbing a bone folder and just reinforcing all of those folds, and you'll see just how cool they look. So back into real time now, I'll just give you a little short preview of what it looks when it's all folded up, and I'll add the bows in just a minute to make all of the presents. So what I did was I grabbed the bow dies. Now the bows usually come attached to the actual die cut. And I'm going to cut it in each of those colors. So green, pink, orange, yellow, and they come inside those little squares. So you have to cut them out. And then I'm actually going to cut 5 of each color because I'm probably going to make more than one of these cards in the future. And then I have those already cut for me, and I'll stick them in the envelope with the die to keep track of those because I like to cut them more than once so that it's easy for me to do another card. Alright, so I'm attaching all those bows. And again, I just cut out each individual color and then attached them to the top there. I found no issue when I folded them as to where I placed these. I placed them slightly off of the little present area and it was absolutely fine. You don't need to worry about having them directly on the paper. Now I'm just simply folding the card base here and I'm just going to add some Tombow monoliquid adhesive. You want a really strong adhesive, so either a double-sided tape, like that red tape, or you could use this. This is absolutely fine. And then I'm just placing the bottom down first, and then I glued the top and folded the cardstock then over top of it. And I think this is probably your best bet on how to glue it. Now for the front of the card, now I wanted to make something that was relatively simple because I have such a great detailed inside. I wanted to create a very simple front. So what I had done, and this is so cool, this is another MISTI technique that I forgot to show in my 10 ways to use the MISTI video, is I am inking up various areas in different shades of blue. So I'm starting off with Mermaid Lagoon and I'm stamping little pieces at a time. Then I moved on to Cracked Pistachio. And again, because the MISTI allows you to stamp in the same spot every time, this is absolutely no problem. You can just keep inking up little areas and stamping them over top, and then you get this really nice blended look instead of having them all the colors on your stamp at once. And sometimes they start to dry out and things like that, and this just makes that a whole lot easier. Then I moved into Peacock Feathers and added some more color with that, and now I have this really great multicolored tritone Wish sentiment, which is absolutely gorgeous. And then I'm going to stamp the Make-A, and I'm going to stamp that actually in black ink just to make that blue really pop. And I'm going to just go ahead and add various tones of Nouveau drops to embellish my card. So I'm just going to attach this here to my card base now, and you can choose to do this before or after the Nouveau drops. It just depends on how sure you are with the Nouveau drops. Now, in order to keep this flat while I was working with the Nouveau drops, I used this bar magnet, which I got from Simon Says Stamp recently, and that holds the card down absolutely fine. And I actually decided to leave that bar magnet on there until all the Nouveau drops were dry and just let it sit in my MISTI until I was all finished. So I used 3 different colors in sparkle and solid colors, and I was all finished making my card. So I hope you enjoyed today's card tutorial. That die is super awesome, and just have some patience with it, as I said. All the supplies used are listed below in the video description, and there's more details on my blog. Here you're welcome to subscribe to my channel. You can also check out my blog or check out 2 other videos featuring Concord and Ninth stamps. Thanks so much for watching.